Welcome back to the episode that never was. I must admit I didn't expect this to go on quite so long, and I also didn't expect there to be such a huge gap. So this episode is not really a full episode, it's just a collection of the bits and pieces that I had filmed to use in episode 4, and possibly other episodes after that. Now, they feel a bit irrelevant, so it's just a bit of fun. There is a little bit of progress on the guitar, but nothing to speak of. If you're looking for a massive update on the Strat, I'm afraid it just hasn't happened. And the reason for that is it's very, very cold here in the UK at the moment, and I haven't really felt quite up to it until recently. As soon as the weather improves, I'll be back in the workshop and raring to go. But until then, please enjoy this little opus. Once again, thank you all very much for bearing with me, and I'll see you all very soon with a proper episode. Until then, please subscribe if you can. If you can't, you're doing something dreadfully wrong. You need to be a member of YouTube for a start, which is a really great idea anyway. So here we go. Please enjoy my little bits. No pun intended. I have just rushed out to the workshop because I realise I've missed something. I need to put the logo on the headstock, and if I don't do that before tomorrow, it won't be dry, which means I won't be able to spray the neck tomorrow when the weather's supposed to be quite nice. So I need to get that logo on now. So what I've got here is a little dish of warm water, my decal, and my able assistant Brando, who's looking after everything, making sure everything's okay. Okay, fair enough. What's going on here? What? In simple terms, this goes into the water. That's not nice. Put that away. Brando. Okay. What? Oh my lord. Brando, please. Knock it off. Mind the logo. Mind the logo. Mind the logo. Oh! Headbutt me in the stomach, why don't you? What is it about cats? You know, whatever you need to do, they're there. You know, whenever you need to pick something up, they're standing on it. When you need to get somewhere, they're already there. Now that will probably need to be in there a couple of minutes. That needs to slide off of there when it's gone flat, and then slide it onto there, and then I'll dab it dry, and that's it. Leave it until tomorrow. But at least if it's on there and it's dry, I can get on with the painting. I think doing this with one hand will be quite an achievement, but you never know. Thanks almost entirely to the damned cat, I have ruined that logo, so I now need to go out and cut out another one and have another go. I have exactly 2 left, and if I screw both of those up, I don't have a logo. Well, that was far harder than it should have been. It took 3 attempts. I destroyed 2 of the 3 logos I had, but finally I got one to stick properly. So at least I'm set up for tomorrow and I can go ahead with the spraying, assuming this is dried, which I'm pretty sure it will be. So that would have been a fun way of getting into the episode. And then there would have been some clever, witty segue to get us into the next bit, which is completely unrelated, but it's a kind of a sort of philosophy corner on location without any philosophy. Yeah, you just have to watch it. I find myself unexpectedly in the Mediterranean, in Cannes in France. And as always, I'm obsessing about one thing: getting wood. It's very common for men of my age, particularly with a passion for lutherie, to be obsessed with getting wood. And there's a lot of wood here. You just need to know where to look for it. There's a lovely piece of wood. Can't do anything with it. It's eucalyptus. Absolutely beautiful. It's funny, you see on YouTube all the time people saying, oh, I've got a bit of pine, or I've got this old table, or I've got this, you know, this piece of furniture that I want to make into a guitar, and yet it's not always possible. Wood is funny. It's either too heavy, too light, too soft, too hard, many things, and I guess that's why we talk about tone woods, really. But even in a place like this where there's all this fantastic wood around, you're sort of scuppered for the choice of the right wood to use. Just select your woods carefully, and I wish I could select this lot, because there's an awful lot of it here. and I can't use any of it. I find myself unexpectedly at the French walled city of Saint-Paul-le-Vence, which is not far from Cannes, pondering getting wood. Now, as time goes by, getting wood gets harder and harder, and you know, there's lots of legal bits and pieces like CITES, and getting wood in the UK has always been difficult. But here in France, there's a huge abundance of wood, and getting hold of it is slightly easier. Wood. But the variety of wood that you use varies on country to country. I mean, in America, it's traditionally been maple and mahoganies, but here in France, there's a great plethora of other types of wood. In this region, for instance, there's a great deal of olive wood. And olive wood is beautiful, but it's oily, so it's not really suitable for guitars at all. So, you know, our search for wood goes on. Just a short boat trip from the historic port in Cannes is the island of Marguerite. On Marguerite, there is an enormous variety of wood. So why, you might be wondering, am I wittering on about wood in the context of a Partscaster build? Certainly, yes, of course, it's more important if you're doing a scratch build to get the right varieties and types of wood, but with a Partscaster, the same rules apply. People talk about building pine casters and bodies made of pine, and they're welcome to do that. In my experience, it doesn't work very well because the properties of pine are not well suited to guitar making. It's too soft, it's too light, you end up with an unbalanced guitar, you end up with a body that dents really easily. It's just not suitable. Whereas maple, which is a hard, dense wood, is perfect for a neck as it transmits the vibrations extremely well. And the body, being made of something like ash, it offsets that really well because it's quite durable, it's a little harder than pine, and it balances the maple neck really well. Mahogany, on the other hand, for certain types of guitar is absolutely ideal for the neck and the body, Les Pauls being a classic example. So matching your wood is just as important with a Partscaster as with any other guitar build. It's funny how sometimes you feel like a complete fool. You know, you're sitting here at the Regatta Royale in Cannes, and I don't have a boat, but I do have a beer. Well, that was destined to be some kind of Philosophy Corner special report. I'm always looking for new ways of expanding the show beyond sanding, routing and finger jokes. I'm hoping to do some more interview type things if I can in the future. Who knows? In fact, if you have any ideas, I'm keen to hear them. Anyway, the next section was how I intended to kick off episode 4 and get a bit deeper into Stratocasters in general. You'll see what I mean. Welcome back. It's been an age. You've probably just heard from me why, but it's lovely to be back in the workshop again. There's so much to do, and I think the best thing that we can get on with is the last thing you saw me do was put this logo on. I've sprayed over it a couple of times since then, and I think that probably the easiest thing to do now is to carry on and put some ferrules in the front of the headstock and fit some machine heads. Who would turn up now completely unscripted? Oh my goodness me! It's my old friend Brian Powell, also known as the Rock Gardener.
Hello, mate.
Please come on in. Come on in.
The Shed of Dreams.
Ah, Shed Haller. So tell me, what brings you to the Shed of Dreams in this completely unscripted moment?
Well, you might not know, but
Yeah.
I've got blotches on my neck.
Oh really?
See?
Let's have a look.
No,
All right.
my old Strat.
Oh, your old Strat.
Should I be fretting?
Well, I think it probably does need a refret, to be honest. So let's have a look at it. So what we got here? Oh my goodness me! I see what we mean about blotches.
Yeah.
It's interesting this because this problem is something that I'm coming across more and more. I've actually been talking to people on forums online. Blotches on necks like this are usually because you've had a fungal infection.
I think I've had that on my allotment actually.
Where's that?
Um,
Oh, I see.
the beans occasionally get fungal infection.
Well, unless you've left this out there with the bees. People disagree about this. People disagree about what you should put on the guitar neck. The trouble is that these are organic oils and they get actually attacked by organic,
Microbes?
microbes.
Is that the word you're looking
fungus
for?
Is what fungus was what I was floundering for there, yeah. So the blotches is probably caused by the fact that you've basically got an organic oil on here of some description, which will be attacked by things organic. To counteract that, what I suggest and what I know is mostly recommended by people that know what they're talking about is using a synthetic oil.
So not a lemon.
No, the lemon
Juice
stuff
thing.
You've got to be careful with. It's actually toxic. You can actually get some sort of mild lemon oil poisoning if you stick your fingers in your mouth, which I wouldn't imagine you would do. No, synthetic oil is much better. I actually use something which is like a trumpet valve oil or a trombone slide oil type thing. You know, synthetic oil, that's the way. But it's lovely you brought it in. What can you tell me about this wonderful, genuine Stratocaster?
Well, it's a 1963 original, pretty much all original. It was resprayed. I had to wait a long time for it to come in because it was being resprayed, but they got it for what would now be considered a very, very, very cheap price.
But the scratch plate has got a most wonderful greeny colour.
Yeah.
What's really nice to see on this is all the original wear, and this is what people are trying to recreate when you relic a guitar.
Exactly. Yeah. That was in brand new condition.
Really?
Finish wise when I got it. Yeah. All that wear is from me.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah.
And
It's quite a buckle you had there, sir.
well, yeah.
It was the 70s.
It was, a lot of punk, studded belts.
And the obligatory cigarette burn on the top.
Yeah,
Gives
yeah.
it a certain cachet.
Exactly.
It's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's also got a neck like a tree trunk.
It's a bigger neck, yeah. It's like it's a Stevie Ray Vaughan width neck.
I remember I've actually got a picture that you took of me holding this when I was 17.
Have you really?
Yep. I'll put it on the screen now. Yeah, 17 years old, and that was the first Strat I ever held, and I must admit, I think it's still as beautiful as the day I first saw it, albeit slightly more worn.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't pristine then. I mean, the body was pretty clean, but it's a wonderful guitar. But looking at the way it's been, this dinking here is classic, isn't it? And you reckon that's the case?
That is definitely from the case. It's had about 3 or 4 cases. I've still got the original case.
Right.
Which didn't have much cushioning, and so carrying it around, that's where the weight impacts with the bottom of the case. So that's all from the case. The back is all buckle.
A hell of a buckle, sir.
Yeah.
Nice to see.
Sorry about that, but
it's interesting. You've got sweat corrosion as well on things like these screws.
Yeah.
But not on these two. And on the front, all of these are corroded.
Yeah.
These are not so corroded, so this is where your hand is.
Yeah.
These are slightly rounded over, I noticed, that they've been worn away by your hands. And I think there is actually part of your hands in these knobs.
Yeah. I think if you extracted some DNA from it,
we could definitely find out who the murderer was.
I think it would definitely point to me.
Well, that's fantastic.
But I mean, the thing about relicking and kind of patina is.
Yeah.
For somebody who's had a guitar, from new, or from a new finish, all that is from me. And you can see that is from my arm, and there's one little story here.
Oh yeah, tell us the story about that.
There's a
split.
There's a split here. Now I know exactly what happened there.
Yeah.
I can remember it still. I was playing in a band with a really good friend of mine, of course, and,
Mr. Kevin Jarvis.
Kevin Jarvis, yeah. And we were in the middle of this football pitch, and the wind disturbed his cymbals, and one crashed down and lodged right there.
Straight as a disc.
Yeah,
Woof.
as a disc, straight in there, and it was, it stayed there for a second and then fell out.
Looked like you'd been attacked by a UFO.
Yeah, exactly. So
incredible.
So that's got a story to it, you know.
Yeah.
And I suppose there's things that have kind of dropped on it over the years. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful thing, Brian, and I really thank you very much for bringing it in.
Yeah, it sounds great.
I'm sure that we can sort this out. I think what I'll do first when I sort this out is I'll just take whatever's on there off, probably with a bit of spirit of some description. Then we can work it back in with some synthetic oil.
Okay.
Easy for me to say.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for that, Brian. I'll get that sorted for you. Terrific. Okay, burn this, will you please? I can assure you the Strat was not committed to the flames. Though with energy prices so high here in the UK, it almost makes economic sense. It has to be said that it's been a tough few months with viruses seemingly queuing up to have a go at me. But something rather wonderful has happened. Finally, after almost 2 years of searching and angst, Ella and I have finally found and bought our dream home in France. This is a massive event for us, particularly so late in life. It's not the end of this channel, I can assure you. In fact, it opens up a whole new adventure, and we might be able to offer guitar making breaks to you guys and your partners at our new home, because it's enormous. It's too early to make firm commitments right now, but we fully intend to start a new channel to document and share our incredible new adventure. I really hope you will follow us here as well as there. Hey, it's free. Anyway, that's it for now. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon with episode 4 as soon as I can get out there. So be well and keep building.